to the main story of the day, and this is the aftermath of the horrible tragedy that took place in Morbi above the Machchhu river, in which 135 people died following the collapse of a suspension bridge. Now, that particular incident has left the entire nation in a state of shock. Over 130 lives have been lost and several people injured, even as rescue operations continue to be underway. Questions are now being raised as to who is responsible for this tragic loss of lives. Several glaring lapses have also come to light on the part of the Oreva Group, the firm that was given the contract for the maintenance and renovation of the bridge by the Morbi civic authorities. The time given for the maintenance work was about 8 to 12 months, but the firm reopened the bridge within a space of 5 months without any green signal or any requisite certificates from the Morbi's municipal authorities. Tickets had been sold and people were allowed to use that bridge without any fitness test after the maintenance work was supposedly completed. A technical assessment of the bridge was an absolute must before it was thrown open to the public, which clearly wasn't done as well. Now, while the load-bearing capacity of the bridge is said to be just 100 people, tickets were actually sold to over 400, and there were more than 350 people at the time that the bridge actually collapsed in Morbi. Let me go across now to Arunil, who's been tracking the horrible aftermath of what actually transpired. He's spoken to survivors. He's confronted the nodal minister as well as civic officials in question. Arunil, the Prime Minister did visit the site of the accident yesterday. He also held meetings with senior officials, also the Superintendent of Police. What's now expected as far as the investigations are concerned?
Well, a report was submitted by the public prosecutor, including that also included the cops who spoke inside the courtroom. Now, with respect to the hearing that had taken place, out of the 9 accused, 4 have been sent to police custody. 5 have been sent to judicial custody. Now, some important revelations have been made by the public prosecutor inside the local Morbi court, basically saying that the contractors who were given the job of maintenance of this cable bridge, they were not really qualified engineers. What exactly they had done was they just changed the flooring of the bridge from wooden to aluminium. They didn't do any kind of work on the ancient cable that was been there, and also the bolts, the screws that were placed in the cable bridge, they were also not being replaced. Now, by changing the flooring from wood to aluminium, the weight of the bridge completely changed. The weight came on the flooring because aluminium is heavier than the wooden flooring. And that basically changed the dynamics of the entire bridge engineering as well. And obviously, we know that was spoken inside the courtroom as well, that how come so many people were allowed when the capacity of the bridge was only around 100 to 125 people? How come 600 people were allowed over there? The question about why till now no action has been initiated against the owners of Oreva Ajanta, that was also being asked. From the defense side, there were no lawyers to exactly represent the defense, considering the fact that the Bar Association of Morbi and Rajkot have decided that taking into account the huge loss of life, the massive loss of life, nobody will be representing.
Absolutely, Arunil, I would urge you to stay with us because there's an important piece of breaking news also coming in. Now, earlier we, of course, showed you details of the contract that have been signed between the municipal body as well as Oreva. Now, Times Now has managed to access a letter from Oreva to the local district magistrate. And this is a letter dating back to 2020 where Oreva tells the district magistrate that the bridge will be repaired on a temporary basis. Let me in fact go across to my colleague Pranesh, who joins us from the Noida newsroom to take us through the contents of that letter from 2020. Yes, over to you, Pranesh.
After this news break on Times Now, Siddharth, there is no doubt that this administration, the state in this case, was not aware about the dangers of this death trap. This hanging bridge was hazardous. The owners, contractors, people who were mandated to conduct repair work had informed the administration that, look, the bridge is in shambles. We will carry out a temporary repair work. Their words. And this is a 2020 letter. Here is the date. It is 2020. 2 years later in 2022, the state did nothing, which is why you have a situation that 135 lives are lost, 135 people murdered by killer negligence. And this letter, which is in Gujarati, and let me give you a gist of it, it begins by saying, "Respected sir, to write that as per the above details, we have also given confirmation by letter regarding the meeting held on 29th January 2020 and the decision taken as per the discussions for the reopening of the Judicial pool at Morbi, which is the hanging bridge at Morbi, for your information. Sir, after your confirmation letter, contact Honorable Collector Sir, Office and Chief Officer Sir, Municipality for agreement. It has been informed that some process work and resolution have been done in this agreement. It will take some time to complete procedure." Then it says that we will do the repair on a permanent basis later. Then it talks about the materials that are not to be ordered, which are only for your information. But the last part is the clincher. He says, "Sir, we are going to reopen this hanging bridge by doing temporary repairs. Sir, we hope and trust that this matter will soon be rectified from your side as soon as possible." If the letter is written on in 2020, why was the Morbi administration sleeping? Why did they not seal off the area till the repair work is complete? This is now the proof of nexus in black and white. All these people who are now part of the inquiry panel and who've been evading Times Now's direct questions, they have said, look, an inquiry committee is there. They will give us the answers. We know what the problem was. The administration has to answer. The collector got this letter in 2020. What did he do after this? Why was the bridge allowed to be reopened? Why are the owners not booked yet? Siddharth,
Absolutely,
basic
Pranesh.
questions.
Extremely pertinent questions that you've asked. Shocking disclosures in that letter. Let me, in fact, take this across to Arunil. Now, Arunil, let's juxtapose the contents of the letter that Pranesh has just taken us through. This was written on the 20th of August, 2020, on the part of Oreva to the Morbi collector. And let's juxtapose this with what the claims are in the local court made by the prosecuting authority yesterday. The prosecuting authority yesterday told the local court that the blame entirely lies on the contractor for only having made rudimentary changes and renovation to the bridge. However, this is what Oreva is also claiming to the district authorities in 2020, saying that we'll only make temporary renovations to the bridge before throwing it open to the public. So the collector, the municipal authority, knew all along that the repairs will be temporary. This makes the administration completely complicit, does it not?
Well, Siddharth, this is extremely shocking, very big as well. The reason for that is it establishes that there was a mounting pressure, a continuous pressure that was being put up by Oreva Ajanta, the private company in this case, on the private beg your pardon, on the local municipal body and the local collector as well, basically repeatedly asking them. Since 2020, they have been saying that only temporary maintenance is being complete, temporary work for maintenance is complete. Allow us to open the bridge for public. We will complete the due course of maintenance with the next frame of time. Now, since then as well, here as well, in this mishap also, we have seen that the public prosecutor mentioned about the fact that only temporary maintenance was being done. The flooring was changed, the cable wires which were ancient, they were not being touched, they were not oiled, they were not greased by this private company Ajanta Oreva, but yet the bridge was allowed to be open. The onus certainly lies with the local collector, the local municipal body as well, because they knew that the bridge is going to be open. When so many people from Morbi knew that the bridge has opened, they reached over there. So many tickets were being sold. These people in the authorities cannot beg negligence. They cannot say that they are not to be blamed over here, because they were responsible for the safety of
Absolutely, Arunil. Stay with us because that letter points their fingers directly now at the municipal administration. They cannot afford to wash their hands off what has happened. Stay with us because remember yesterday, Times Now had actually showed you how while inaugurating this renovated bridge on the 26th of October, the chairman of Ajanta Oreva, Mr. Jaisukh Patel, claimed that nothing will happen to this bridge for a period of 8 to 10 years. Let's in fact listen into what he specifically said at that point in time on the 26th of October.
આ જે રિનોવેશન કરેલું છે એ અમારી દ્રષ્ટિએ જે રીતે અમે ટેકનિકલ સ્પેસિફિકેશન અને જે બધું છે એના મુજબ 8 થી 10 વર્ષ સુધી આ બ્રિજને કંઈ નહીં થઈ શકે. આ જે રિનોવેશન કરેલું છે એ અમારી દ્રષ્ટિએ જે રીતે અમે ટેકનિકલ સ્પેસિફિકેશન અને જે બધું છે એના મુજબ 8 થી 10 વર્ષ સુધી આ બ્રિજને કંઈ નહીં થઈ શકે.
So, Arunil, we actually managed to access the visuals of the ribbon cutting ceremony as well on the 26th. It's on the same day that Jaisukh Patel made these claims as well, saying that the bridge will not require any repairs for a period of 8 to 10 years, all the while telling the district collector in 2020 itself that the repairs will be temporary in nature. This not only casts a shadow over the integrity of Oreva here, but also the municipal officials.
And what is happening on the ground, Siddharth, is this same man, Jaisukh Patel, he is absconding just because he has some clout, he has a humongous amount of money, obviously from a businessman family. He can afford to get away with a heinous crime like this. He was the one who inaugurated this very bridge, and on the inauguration day itself, on October 26th, he publicly announced saying that there is no maintenance required for this bridge for the next 8 to 10 years. And imagine, the bridge could not sustain for 8 to 10 days also. Isn't he responsible for this? Some small-time fish from his company have been arrested by the local cops. Till now, no action has been taken against Mr. Jaisukh Patel. In fact, Times Now reached the houses of the people who have been affected. One family from Morbi, 7 people have lost their life, and amongst those 7, 5 are young kids. Imagine 5 young kids from one family losing their life. We spoke to the grieving mother who was there at the site. She was the only survivor, and she has been saying...
Absolutely, Arunil, you were also there at the residence of Jaisukh Patel, the 7th floor house, where he was, of course, nowhere to be found. Times Now also managed to visit Jaisukh's office and his farmhouse as well, but again, there was absolutely no trace of him.
While trying to track Jaisukh Patel, we have reached to the headquarters of Oreva, which is in Morbi. This office has been forcefully shut. We spoke to those people in the security personnel. They have also come out with an anger.
I am in Ahmedabad and we are tracking down Jaisukh Patel. Currently where I am is the farmhouse of Jaisukh Patel, and this is in Ahmedabad. But what we can see over here is this farmhouse spread over acres. And completely deserted as of now. Nobody can be seen over here, and it has been locked up.
These are the officials of the government of Gujarat who came here for an inspection, but instead of waiting and trying to talk to us, they have left from the spot. So it is quite clear that the government is also has also woken up, and they are trying to gather more evidence against the people who were owning this Oreva company.
We are reporting from the residence of Mr. Jaisukh Patel. He is the owner of Ajanta Oreva, the company that had got the contract. Who is responsible for these innocent lives, the innocent loss of lives? This man is responsible, and that's why we have been trying to track Mr. Jaisukh Patel.
So that's actually the press conference now being hosted by the public prosecutor in this matter, who made a series of submissions before the court yesterday about the laxity on the part of Ajanta Oreva in this matter. Let's listen into what he says.
આરોપીઓને કોર્ટમાં રજૂ કરવામાં આવેલા, જેમાંથી 5ની જ્યુડિશિયલ કસ્ટડી કરવામાં આવેલી છે. 4 આરોપીઓના રિમાન્ડ આપેલા છે કોર્ટે 5 તારીખ શનિવાર સુધી 3 વાગ્યા સુધી.
So they've sought the judicial custody of 4 of the accused until the 5th of this month. That's what the public prosecutor is saying.
ફેબ્રિકેશનનું વર્ક કરેલું, અને જે નોન ક્વોલિફાઈડ પર્સન હતા એવું આઈઓનું કહેવું હતું, જેના કારણે એમને રિમાન્ડ આપવામાં આવેલા નામદાર કોર્ટ તરફથી.
સર કેવી સામા પક્ષી તરફથી દલીલો કરવામાં આવી હતી ને આપણા તરફથી કેવી દલીલો?
સામા પક્ષ તરફથી તો એ દલીલ એમણે આમાંથી એક આરોપી રજૂઆત કરી કે હું ગ્રાફિક મેનેજર છું અને બીજા બધા જે લોકોએ કર્યું એમને જે વર્ક સોંપવામાં આવેલું એ પ્રમાણે અમે વર્ક કરેલું છે. અને
one of the people who's been apprehended is a graphics manager and some of the others were also involved in the renovation work in question.
એમાં આઈપીસી કલમ 336-38 નો ઉમેરો કરવામાં આવેલો છે. 38 નો ઉમેરો કોર્ટે પેન્ડિંગ રાખેલો છે.
He's reading out the IPC sections under which the people who've been apprehended are now going to be charged.
બાકીનું સેક્શન એડ કરવામાં આવેલું છે.
સર બીજી કોઈ રિપોર્ટ સબમિટ થઈ છે એફએસએલ ની કોઈ રિપોર્ટ કે એના કઈ વિગત?
આઈઓ તરફથી એફએસએલ નો રિપોર્ટ કવરમાં સબમિટ કરવામાં આવેલો છે.
એની કઈ વિગત બહાર આવી છે?
An FSL report will be submitted to the court in a sealed envelope is something that he's also said. We'll slip into a short break. We'll come back with more on this Morbi tragedy on the other side. Stay tuned.